Behold what manner of love, this is 1 John 3, it's verse 1. Behold what manner of love the Father has bestowed on us, that we should be called the children of God. Therefore, the world doesn't know us because it didn't know Him. Beloved, now we are the children of God, and it has not yet been revealed what we shall be, but we know that when He is revealed, we shall be like Him. So what he's talking about is, we don't have this full revelation, this manifestation of what's going to happen in the twinkling of an eye, right? When the people that remain, a twinkling of an eye, boom. But the whole time we have enough evidence that we know we can live by the Spirit, not fulfill the lust of the flesh. What do you do with that one, preachers? If I live by the Spirit, I will not fulfill the lust. Well, brother, that's impossible. Everybody's going to sin. You're always going to walk in the flesh. Your flesh is evil, wicked. It's contrary to your spirit. Okay, so throw away what God says. And let your experience rule once again. And subvert the grace of God and suppress the grace of God, which is God's empowerment to empower you to live what you can never live on your own, so He gets the glory and you're not just a good Christian. See, there's no super Christian on the planet. It's just believers. We are what we are by the grace of God. So who gets all the glory? And when you realize your life's transformed by His grace, you love Him all the more and you want more grace. But if we just compare ourselves among ourselves and say, well, brother, nobody can live like that. Well, Jesus did. And He said, follow me. And He said, the things I do, you'll do if I believe. And He said, in greater things, because I'm going to my Father. Now see, our job is to believe that. The enemy's job is to get you all muddied up and not believe that. Why? Because every promise is to the believer. So get us to argue, intellectual, analytical. Let me think on that for a while. Well, I'm just telling you, analytical. People boast in analytical. They say, well, I'm a very analytical person. I'm like, well, you should have stopped that yesterday. It's not a gift. No, it's not a gift. I can show you in Scripture it's not a gift. Because it's making simple things complicated. God didn't give you the ability to talk yourself out of Him. He didn't give you the ability to think long enough and hard enough and complex enough to come up with a reason why He probably doesn't love you. Did Adam and Eve have a commandment in the garden? Did they just have one commandment? Don't what? Eat the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. They didn't know anything but God. They didn't know any other voice. They didn't even have other voices on the earth. It was just God and them. And they, in the cool of the day, enjoyed fellowship. And they had it made. Who knows they had it made? Yeah. And guess what happened one day? Yeah. Another voice spoke. Yeah. Did God really say, oh yeah, God said not to eat it, not to touch it. The day we eat it or touch it, the day we shall die. He's talking to Eve. Oh, come on, God. You're not going to die. God just knows the day you eat it, you'll be enlightened. You'll have the knowledge. You'll be just like Him. They were already made in His image. Yeah. You'll be just like, and she's going, listening to another rationale. It was the birth of analytical thinking. And then Adam did a worse thing. He heeded her voice. He heeded her voice instead of him. What's that tell you? That Satan made a disciple quick. He spoke a language and got the one that believed it to speak the same thing. And all of a sudden now he's reproducing after his own kind to get in the way of God's plan to make His earth full of His glory and reproduce after His own kind. And that's the war we're in. The war you're in is Jesus Christ wanting to reproduce you after Him and the enemy trying to make you look like Him. And the enemy could care less if you go to church. He just wants to make sure you never walk in love. He wants to make sure you stay angry, prideful, opinionated, frustrated, discouraged, angry, self-centered, critical, prideful. He could care less if you go to church if you don't look like Jesus. In fact, I think He enjoys people going to church. I think going to church is one of the most dangerous days of your life. My own pastor doesn't even like when I preach this. He says, something doesn't feel right about that. I said, well, you might want to really think about what I'm saying. Wonder if because of the way church has become and the messages that He actually inspires people to go because it could lull you to sleep. And wonder if going to church could be the most dangerous day of your life because you think going to church is making it instead of being transformed. And all of a sudden you let church attendance take the place of knowing Him, and knowing Him is the transformation of your life. So why are we supposed to even gather together? Why do we even do church? To stir one another in love and good works. It has nothing to do with getting our needs met. He's our shepherd. I shall not want. It has to do with staying on page, staying on track, and living the life that He paid for. That's why we gather. To stir one another in love and good works. Come on, it's all Bible.